Hello, hello, hello. I don't know if anyone cares, but I'm feeling better and my cold is basically gone. You can probably hear it in my voice. Okay, also, let me know if everyone likes everything I've built in here. If you don't, tough. But yeah, I like it. Okay, now I have read this story. I find it quite interesting and I always have discussing this topic. So it says, I reported my sexist team to HR and now they're doing a much bigger investigation than I wanted. Okay. I work with about 10 men and I'm the only woman on my team. Doesn't that sound nice? Yeah. Over the course of about 2.5 months, I've accumulated some experiences of sexism. A lot of it has been jokes or comments that are generally inappropriate or sexual in nature, and other times it's a difference in treatment from other colleagues that I think it has to do because I'm a woman. My feelings of discontentment have been getting greater and greater this past couple of months, and I came to a breaking point last Friday. I felt unwelcome and belittled. I ended having to leave my desk for 30 minutes and cry in the bathroom. I felt like I either needed to leave this job because I wasn't respected or that I needed to do something about the feeling. I didn't feel like having a personal conversation with some of the guys was an appropriate course of action because I didn't feel like I'd be taken seriously, which is fair. Instead, I set up a meeting on Monday with someone who works for my company and is a representative between us and the company we work for, because we work as contractors for a larger company. Let's call him M. I came in prepared with notes on my phone about all the instances I've experienced. M was super responsive to my complaints. I was surprised and optimistic about this, and afterwards he asked me to send him an email with a list of the situations I had mentioned. I complied and wrote a brief email about it. We met up again a couple days later when he said that he had spoken with his manager and it had been escalated to HR with the contracting company and that they would be conducting a formal investigation. He reiterated that he would need to protect me, and to do that they would need me to send them another email with every possible description of each situation I had previously listed. Things like who was around and who might have witnessed it and where, what did I reply to the comments, behavior, etc. M said they would need to speak with every person on the team, starting with people who I didn't list as making my harassment remarks or behaviors to corroborate my claims. I immediately felt uneasy about this. Not only is there 100 transparency about these complaints coming from me, but everyone in the office is going to be made aware of every situation I listed. I listed situations with people I'm actually friends with too. M said they need to conduct this formal investigation so that if anything further happens in the future, they can take appropriate action, which may mean termination from assignment. I've become so distraught imagining how people, friends or not, are going to react knowing their job security is now up for debate and how I am going to be able to function in an environment where people are going to be treating me differently following the investigation. I told M that it took a lot for me to even approach him about the issue and that I feel like I'm going to be pushed into a corner by people either being bitter or overly sensitive about interacting with me, and that this in turn is going to affect how I function in my workplace. I don't feel safe and I do enjoy my office, but the inequality was getting to me. I asked if we could do a general office training, education about our company's sexual harassment policy instead of an investigation, because frankly, we should already be doing that, and I also think that option could help reiterate that behavior needs to change. I'm just so nervous that I'll be further pushed out of my office space and ultimately forced to leave because I'm unhappy with the situation. I was told that M's higher-ups said an investigation is how we would need to proceed and that I need to provide a description of each instance. I feel like my needs of a comfortable workspace are being jeopardized, and while they say they want to protect me, it is doing the opposite. I want to try and speak to M's manager because I'm not sure if my concerns are being portrayed properly and I'm uncomfortable with this. Am I just being spineless and need to follow through with this investigation and hope for the best that my work environment doesn't change? Do I have any kind of recourse? What if I don't provide them with any more details to aid in the investigation? I'm legitimately freaking out about this, and it is giving me so much anxiety on top of an already shitty work situation. This is just awful. I feel like they're just kind of doing exactly what she didn't want them to do. I think that there's just so many other things that you can do. And they're just making her life even harder. Like, it's already horrible for her. Why not take into consideration her feelings and what she wants to do? Anyways, there is an update from 2.5 years later. I took a little bit of time writing to you to figure out how I wanted to approach the situation with my HR representative, M. M had requested written statements for every occurrence of sexual harassment I experienced, pretty typical as I've come to learn, and I was avoiding sending the information in until I knew what I wanted to do. That's very smart. I knew a full-blown investigation would change things greatly at my office, for better or worse. On a big picture level, I hoped an investigation would improve the culture within my team and make it a safer environment for women. On a personal level, it would definitely impact my ability to work with my team and strain even the good relationships I had with some of my co-workers who would have inherently been included in my statements. And M's suggestions that I work separately in a different office building made me feel like I was being punished for having to work alone because of all of this. I legitimately was contemplating quitting because I felt so powerless in all of this. After taking some time, I looked at my entire employment experience with the company and did some research on HR protocols. That's when I realized my company had never done any sexual harassment trainings with my team while I'd been employed, against state law at the time. I asked a coworker who'd been there years before me, and he also stated there'd never been any training of that sort. The same went for a coworker on a separate but adjacent team. Sexual harassment in the tech industry had already been illuminated in the media for quite some time, and I was shocked to know my company had been so negligent all these years. I wrote to M and requested another meeting with him and his manager. I explained that while I knew an investigation is standard procedure, I felt the impact of that would have placed undue stress on me as a result. I noted that not only had no sexual harassment training been done with my team or other team this company managed, there hadn't been any HR trainings for other issues either. I let them know that this felt negligent on the part of our company and had facilitated the environment for my situation to even occur. They told me they would think about the next steps and let me know. Boss-ass bitch. A couple of days later, they emailed me stating I did not need to pursue the investigation if I did not want to. Duh. They also let me know they would be implementing new HR trainings across all the teams in my office and that they would facilitate an all-team meeting to address the sexual harassment while keeping my identity anonymous. I'm not sure if they thought I was gearing up to sue them or something, but I was happy to hear this. I knew I wasn't working with a team of awful misogynists, but that my company had done nothing to create a culture around fair and safe employment. Ultimately, I did not follow through with the investigation. However, my situation improved drastically following the all-team meeting and having new precedents set. I moved to a new and much better company around a year later. Most of the folks in my team at the time have also left. A friend of mine who joined the team shortly after this HR situation tells me she feels comfortable at work and that no issue regarding sexual harassment have crept up since I left either. I think this is a great ending to this. I think she did everything perfectly. I just can't believe that M would take the decision for her. I feel like this happens quite a lot in workplaces. It's even happened to me in the past as well. I've seen people just say things that they're uncomfortable with and then they make it a lot bigger than it is, and then it just kind of makes everything worse for everybody. If it's something absolutely horrible, which, I mean, this is horrible, but if it was something that the person would be comfortable to speak about, then yeah, okay, make an investigation and everything. But if that person is not comfortable with it, and obviously it's gonna be worse for that person, then why make an investigation? I'm just happy she decided to go with this and everything's fine now. I just feel like it is the man's fault, and I just think they need to understand how they need to act with people, and especially with women in the same workplace. I feel like they don't really take it seriously. They act however they want. And in my opinion, it is common sense. It is not because they need training from a company. They're not children. They do not need teaching on how to act with a woman, especially in the workplace. You need to know how to not make someone uncomfortable, especially someone that you work with. I think that's 100% common sense. Especially after a certain age, no one is to train you on that. But anyways, I'm just glad it all ended up well for her. Okay, before I move on to the next story, I just really want to extend this rail line through the jungle. The next story is again about workplace drama. I just really like reading about them because I think everybody has workplace drama and then everybody is different. Okay, this one says, I regret believing everyone when they said don't date from work. Everyone suddenly believes you don't date from work. Don't shit where you eat. This story, it just sounds funny. You're a loser to do it, but swiping pictures for hours is totally normal, apparently. Honestly, guys, everyone can just do whatever makes them happy. The judging looks you get from friends and family for telling them that you like someone from work. We have been working together for 1.5 years, and I have liked her for the same amount. I believe she liked me too. When I started telling my friends, it was a total joke to them. You don't shit where you eat. What's this? Soon, even the folks at work started saying how terrible of an idea it was because I think it was obvious that I liked her. The older generation said that I should trust them, and the female colleagues warned me about harassment. It terrified me that I would harass a coworker, so last Christmas party, some of us decided to continue the night after the office party. She looked amazing, and she talked to me the whole evening. On our way to the bar, two of my colleagues warned me that this could end up very badly with her being all over me. Oh my God. She wasn't. She's very shy and polite, so the effort it must have taken her to want to stay close to me in spite of everyone around us. Don't waste your energy, don't do something stupid, and you ruin your work environment. Monday would be awkward if you did something stupid. I ended up avoiding her at the bar. She looked puzzled, but she understood the gist and sat with the female workers instead. Then, a couple of girls at the bar started to chat with us, and my colleagues encouraged it. He was the best wingman. I ended up living with one of the girls. I felt my colleague's eyes on me when I left. She never talked to me again. Never looked at me once. She's been very polite and kind as usual when we work together, but she never looks at me. Her smile in the morning when she says good morning is not the same. Of course, it was for the best, according to the believe me, I know people, but why doesn't it feel that way? The work environment I was supposed to keep safe feels unbearable now. I should have never listened to anyone but my heart. I could always find another job, but feelings like this are hard to come by. I just wanted to vent somewhere because I can't really blame my family, friends, and colleagues for my actions. I am just bitter. You're just stupid. I'm sorry. Why? Like, is your child? Why would you care so much about? I mean, of course, you're going to care a little bit about what people say. Absolutely fine. But to actually change what you're going to do this much? You joking? You child? Anyways, there is an update from 3 days later. So I will just dive right into my update. I asked my colleague if we could take a walk on our lunch break because I needed to talk to her. It was the first time I talked to her since the party. She probably knew exactly what it was about. I just started apologizing. I told her exactly what went through my mind that day, and without making excuses for myself, because let's face it, I am an adult. Duh. I didn't need to listen to the others. I should have trusted my feelings, and definitely nobody made me go home with that girl. I told her this. She said that she was hurt because she liked me and that she too thought about us being colleagues and what it would have meant. But she thought worst case that she would have to find a new job if we clicked as a couple. Telling me this was like knives in my chest. I wish I was less dramatic too and had her simpler approach and I told her that this story, I'm sorry, the person writing it is foreign, which I mean, so am I. So that's why it's just a bit all over the place. So it's kind of hard to read. Anyways, I told her that what I did was stupid and had nothing to do with her but my own insecurities. She accepted my apology. She's not interested in pursuing anything anymore. I kind of expected that because she's way better than settling for a mess like me. Pick me. Choose me. Love me. Oh, such a pick me. I probably showed her a Nick side and I understand. I won't lie and say that it didn't break my heart a little and think I teared up a little even though I tried to be cool. That must have been another ick for her. She said that she's also moving on with another job too because it felt awkward at the office now. This made me want to cry for real. I tried to avoid this woman because of a stupid job, because it would be awkward to date someone I work with and now she's not going to be working with me anyway. I wish her luck and I hope it sounded like I meant it. That's all. This whole story is just a little bit funny. I don't understand why anyone would care so much about some random co-workers. And a job is a job. If you find the love of your life at work, just go for it. But you do kind of need to know, to be a little bit sure, if they actually spoken for those 1.5 years and actually connected and he could feel something, then why not? At the end of the day, it's just a job. It's easy to find another job, like he said, but to find someone that you actually care about, it is hard. And how awkward could it be, even if they did break up? Like, just be mature about it. What is this? This is just funny to me. And yeah, but I am very glad that she didn't want anything to do with him anymore. He sounds weird as fuck. He sounds like a pick-me. And the fact that he cares so much about what other people think would definitely affect any relationship he's going to be in. So he just needs to, don't know, change his mentality about it, in my opinion. So next, I'm just getting a bit bored of doing this railroad and I found this cave. So I just want to go and check it out while I get into the next story. Okay, so this story I'm about to read is quite interesting and special. I don't think I've ever heard this before and it's not something relatable at all. Me, 23 male, found a picture of my mom in an elderly person's home. Yeah, it's weird. I work at a large facility and we take care of seniors that can no longer take care of themselves. It's not exactly a nursing home, as some of our residents have health issues or cognitive problems. Regardless of that, I love my job and work with people every day. I was recently reassigned to a new area with residents I had never worked with before. In particular was a man I had never met before, but he seemed like a really funny guy. Both of his legs were amputated and he has no real family left to take care of him. While putting him to bed, I saw he had a small pinboard filled with pictures of what I assumed is what is left of his family. Many of them are elders like him, except for one picture that contains my mother. I had to double take it first, as I didn't believe it at first. The picture is the resident and my mother very close, holding hands. It's definitely my mother, albeit a little younger. She looks to be in her 30s, whereas the resident looks a little younger but not by much. Why is this such a big deal? I moved states over 7 months ago and currently live in a northern state. My whole family is on the East Coast, including my mother. As far as I knew, no one in my family had stepped foot in this state ever before. Furthermore, I asked the resident if he had ever left this state and traveled. According to him, he has been here all of his life and he never had enough money to leave. That's so sad. He has no cognitive issues and I believe him wholeheartedly. I hate this word. Wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. This next part may upset some people, but I had to do this. I didn't want to randomly ask the resident about the picture, so when he finally fell asleep, I turned the picture over real quick, and sure enough, the picture had my mom's name and the resident's name along with a year. This meant my mother was with this gentleman when I was 8. At the time, she was married to my father and had been for some time. They are celebrating a long marriage soon too. What do? The picture is evidence of some sort of affair. My mother traveled a lot during war before she retired. Do I tell my father? Do I ask the resident? They look really cozy in the picture. I mean, come on, man. It's not yours. It's not your responsibility. There's an update from 4 days later. So, many of you agreed that I should probably bring up the picture nonchalantly. I decided to do that next time I was able to take care of John, name change to protect privacy. Last night was the night I was assigned to take care of him, and I braced myself for the reveal. As I was putting John to bed, I looked at the pinboard and remarked what a great-looking amount of people were on it. John smiled as well and asked for me to bring him the board itself so he could go over the people on it. John has been declining in health lately, but his mind is still quite fresh, so it's nice to see him remember his past life. As he went through each and every photograph, I smiled on the outside but was absolutely dreading it on the inside. I knew he was slowly getting to the bottom where my mom was, staring back at me with a signature smile. Once he got to her, he paused, sighed, and looked up at me. Ever lose someone you thought you could live together with? His voice was so cracked, like he was going to cry any second. This is so sad. I asked him how he met her and who she was, though I did not care at all at this point. With the way he spoke about it, it would appear my mother has indeed cheated on my father. John met my mother, Joan, again, privacy change. years ago during a business conference. He was a contractor doing repairs on the facility the conference was held in, and my mother was there on business. They met, sparks flew, and she cheated on my father apparently. Oof, I don't think John realizes he cheated with my mother. As soon as he was done explaining, I put him to bed with a fake smile, closed myself in the employee bathroom, and cried. I haven't cried like that in a long time. John told me their relationship ended when she left town after 3 days, but they continued to send letters back and forth for years. Oof. He still has them and they are somewhere in his room. I am heartbroken and drinking heavily tonight. How should I go about this? My mom and dad are well known in the community for their rock-solid marriage. This would absolutely kill my father. How do I clear my conscience but not kill my parents' marriage? I think the marriage is already done. I mean, if you cheat... I mean, the thing is, right? Who knows? Maybe the father can forgive her. Maybe. At the end of the day, he needs to speak to the mom. If the mom doesn't want to speak to the dad about it, I think he should tell the dad. It's gonna be horrible, but at the end of the day, I hate lies. I think lies are absolutely the worst thing. They're an illness. This just makes me sick. So I think he should speak to the mom. Hopefully the mom wants to be a good person and will speak to the dad about it, apologize, and then maybe he'll be fine with it. But this just doesn't sound good. But you never know people's situations. You never know what's going on in their marriage. You never know anything about people's lives at the end of the day. So we're not here to judge, but he should 100% speak to the mom. And to be honest, I'll just be curious. Alrighty, I think I'm gonna go back to my build from earlier. I just really wanna try and get it done before the end of the video. I'm sorry, but I have another kind of sad story. This one is about pets. So if anyone's dealing with something, maybe skip to the next one. So it says, on Christmas Day, I received a message from my Rover sitter saying my 10-pound chihuahua ran from her and he hasn't been found. My husband immediately called her, but it was a male friend who answered. The story we got from the friend is the Rover sitter took both our dogs to her friend's house, never asked for permission to take them away from her residence. The sitter went back out to her car to grab a crate, although we never provided a crate nor our dog's crate trained. And the male friend spooked my small dog and he bolted out the front door. We have done everything to find him. Neon posters, handing out flyers, posted to social media, contacted vets, shelters. I know the sitter has been doing this as well, but I can't help but feel so much anger. Yeah, fair enough. My dog has been missing for 4 days now and he's extremely small and anxious. It's been in the freezing temps here. I have no clue why she took the dog somewhere else or why she had a crate with her. I even asked what her Christmas plans were and she never mentioned going anywhere. Dogs are able to be left alone for a few hours, so not sure why they needed to go with her. We were refunded from Rover but lost out on thousands on our trip. We were in Hawaii for 12 hours before getting the message our dog ran away. We booked the next flight home to help with the search. This was supposed to be our romantic baby moon. I am 23 weeks pregnant and this stress has been miserable. Knowing I need to take care of my baby is the only thing keeping me eating and drinking water. My family and I are heartbroken and devastated. The grief is so heavy and I keep thinking the worst. I will never trust my dogs to be watched by a non-family member again. Yeah, this is horrible. Again, people make mistakes. It's okay. Yeah, but this is kind of a horrible mistake. Why would you do this? I just feel like something's suspicious. There's an update. This is from the 31st of December. Still nothing, unfortunately. I've taken all suggestions, posted to every place you guys said, searched on foot for 6 days, left out my dirty clothes, and I even have a call with pet professional today. Like in my last update, the scent tracking team did not get back to me and I haven't found another one. Also, the drone team advised against it since the area is heavily populated. With tonight being New Year's Eve, my hopes are plummeting. He is such a scared and anxious boy. Again, no reason to believe the sitter has him. She posted flyers in the only possible sighting spot as soon as she got word and they've tried a foot trail back to the friend's house. The hour drive has taken a toll on me physically and mentally. I have to think he's so far from home. Thank you again for your kindness and suggestions in the comments. There's, I think, 2 more updates, yeah. The next one is between between the 2nd and the 4th of January. Probably the last time I checked this, since there are no leads on my dog. Apollo is still missing, or rather crossed the Rainbow Bridge. Heartbroken and devastated do not cover my feelings. My husband and I rescued Apollo as a puppy. He was only 1.5 years when he ran away. I took all your suggestions, posted on every social media platform, posted flyers, neon signs, talked with neighbors, laid out dirty clothes, but nothing. The drone team said since he ran in a populated area, it would not be very useful. I reached out to 3 canine scent tracking teams, but 2 did not service the area and no response from the other. For those saying the sitter stole the dog or sold him, I truly do not believe that is the case. She has updated me every night, posted flyers all over and refunded me the portion that Rover did not. She made a very grave mistake when taking my dogs away from her place, and that is still not acceptable. My husband and I did meet and greet prior to the stay, and we selected her because she had no other dogs, no roommates, and no children. We knew Apollo was anxious, so we took all the steps in order to ensure a safe stay. I am in contact with Rover and possibly a lawyer. I have to believe that wherever Apollo may be, he is happy. He was our baby and will be missed so much. And there's just one more update from 2 weeks later. After 16 long days, Apollo was found. I was so happy to read this, honestly. This last Friday, I received a text with a picture of Apollo crouched by a neighbor's porch. The person recognized him from the flyers and contacted me. Another neighbor was able to get him into a crate until I could get there. Although extremely malnourished and skittish, he appears fine, all things considered. He's seen the vet twice and has follow-up appointments that Rover will cover. Thank you all for your thoughts, prayers, and advice. He's such a fighter, and it's a miracle he made it home. Honestly, everyone who has a pet knows how horrible this whole experience must have been. And especially she's pregnant. That must be the last thing you'd want to worry about. Oh, that is just horrible. I'm just glad he was found. It's still horrible what the sitter did. I mean, it just makes no sense. You know, you have a big responsibility taking care of someone else's dogs. You cannot do whatever the fuck you want. You do need to speak to them. You do need to keep them updated and ask for permission for things. You cannot do whatever you want. It's not your dog. Anyways, yeah, like I said, people make mistakes. I'm just happy the dog was found, but I just hope they were given back the money for the trip that they lost out on. However, the stress that this all has caused, it can't be given back. And even though they must feel amazing that they found him, it's still horrible to go through that, especially when you're pregnant. But yeah, anyways, I'm just glad he was found. Thank fuck. Apollo is happy. Yay. I felt like this video has completely turned into workplace drama, and I'm not mad at it. I love hearing about it because it makes my workplace drama feel a little bit less dramatic. Okay, so this one says my manager doesn't like my maternity clothes. Madness. Like, what is it to like or not like? She's having a baby, okay? Stop being stupid. I am 30 weeks pregnant with my first child and having some difficulty with my boss over maternity clothes. I work in finance and my office has a particularly conservative dress. Pre-pregnancy, I generally wear a sheath dress, blazer, and string of pearls. I haven't really been able to wear anything like that for the past few months. Well, yeah, fair enough. Finding conservative maternity clothes has been difficult, but I managed to find a few suits and some plain sleeveless tops to go underneath. I've also found some black dresses that worked well with the blazer. I thought everything was fine. It's just crazy how much you need to, like, the lengths you have to go through to dress well when you're, like, making a whole ass baby. Like, really, that would be the last thing I think about. Anyways, to continue. Last week, my manager pulled me into his office and told me that my current wardrobe was unacceptable. Fucking prick. I apologized and explained that I thought I was following the dress code. I asked what specifically needed to change. He said that if I was going to wear a pantsuit, the shirt needed to be tucked in and belted. Also, that he didn't like the look of side ruching or an empire waist on shirts and felt like it was unprofessional. I told him that I would try to find maternity clothes that met his description, but that it would be difficult. He wasn't convinced and said that my job depends on me being dressed according to his standards. Fuck his standards. There are a few other women, but none of them have had any children while I've been at this job, so I can't look to what they've worn. Do I have any pushback here? I spent the weekend looking for clothes that met his requirements, but haven't been able to. He's out on vacation this week, and I'm out next week, so I have a little bit of time to figure something out. I'm nervous that my job could be on the line. It's just fucking crazy how much people care about how others look at work. We are at work. We're here to do our jobs. Why the fuck do you care how I look? Especially when I'm making a whole baby? Are you fucking kidding me? And a man to give his opinion about what you can wear? Fuck off. Anyways, I like this update a lot. So it's from 6 months later. My situation ended up taking a very unexpected turn. I took your advice and went to HR. The first person I spoke with was absolutely horrified about the situation. She asked to see the emails and ended up calling her boss into our meeting. Her boss told me that I had nothing to worry about, to continue wearing the maternity clothing I had, and that my job was not on the line. My boss apologized about a week later with all kinds of qualifications. The apology didn't feel very genuine, but I let it go. I thought this was the end of the matter. While I was on maternity leave, I received a somewhat baffling call from an HR representative wanting information about my boss. I reached out to a coworker and he let me know that our boss has been fired for sexual misconduct. Fucking asshole. Boss apparently promised an intern a job in exchange for sexual favors, and the intern reported him. Thank fuck. HR launched a clandestine investigation and discovered boss had been doing this for a very long time. He was immediately terminated and no one has seen or heard from him since. He didn't even clean out his office. He must have been embarrassed. I came back from maternity leave to a new sane boss. Thank you very much for your advice. I also appreciated all the comments who were very supportive and helped me see the situation was not normal. I'm just so happy with this update and everything. I just can't believe that this was even allowed in the first place for as long as it was. I just can't believe taking advantage just because you have power of people. It's just disgusting. I absolutely hate people like that. But I'm just happy it all ended up well, and she could wear her maternity clothes. She didn't have to worry that much, which you already have so much to stress about. The last thing you want to think about is for your fucking shirt to be tucked in. Fuck off. Okay, perfect. So I think I'm going to do some mining now, and then I will get back to the house later to finish it up. And next story, guess what it is? Another workplace drama. Okay, so this next one says, I lost respect for my significant other after a disgusting prank at work crossed the line. Keeping this vague for privacy and throwaway account for obvious reasons. My significant other recently told me about a situation at their job. A coworker accidentally left behind a food item and asked another coworker to drop it off at their house. Not that it really matters, but thankfully the food item was sealed and unopened. My significant other suggested dunking the item in a public restroom toilet as a joke before returning it. Fucking awful. The other coworker actually did it, and the item was given back without the person knowing. My significant other told me this story like it was funny. I was disturbed. It was immature at best and unethical at worst. Just because no one technically likes this coworker, that doesn't justify doing what they did. Absolutely. Since starting this job, I feel like my significant other's maturity has regressed significantly. I am losing respect and questioning our future over the shit I'm seeing. Am I overreacting to see this as a serious character issue? And there are a few comments that this person has added. Apparently this coworker is secretly hated by everyone. Doesn't make it any better. I could never fathom doing that to anyone, no matter how much I didn't like them. It's annoying because he would always come home and tell me how immature all of the employees are there, but then he slowly started showing signs of the same immaturity he was describing. but this absolutely floored me and completely changed the way I view him as a person, hence the username. Her name is Who the Fuck Did I Marry? And then she says, this is not the person I married. Well, fair enough. I think the more you hang out with some people, if they're not the best kind of people, you slowly take some of their, attributes. It's normal, but that doesn't make it good. And there's 2 updates. The first one says, hours after calmly explaining how this behavior could affect our family, it was acknowledged. Then, hours later, they completely dismissed what I said and, in writing, sent a message to another coworker higher up than them about wanting to knock the same coworker's teeth out of their mouth. What the fuck is wrong with them? The immaturity is beyond repair. I plan on setting them down tonight and potentially discussing a trial separation until they can get their shit together. I'm officially done. Then there are a few other comments. What really sucks is that you can be with the person for years and you think everything is great, and then you have a kid and she goes sideways. I just think it's crazy. Like, you with someone for this much time and you have a kid and then they just change. Like, surely there must have been some things that show what kind of person he's. No, I don't know. I mean, obviously people can change. Anyways, there's a big update from 2 days later. Okay, so it says, no amount of calmly explaining or simplifying how inappropriate this behavior has been since starting this new job has made him understand. I had a very blunt and direct conversation with my significant other about how unacceptable his actions were at work. As expected, he deflected and made excuses. I shut that down immediately. For anyone who does not know the context, my significant other suggested to a coworker that they should dunk another coworker's sealed food item into a public toilet. When I confronted him about how disgusting and serious that was, he doubled down and sent a written message joking about assaulting this same individual to his boss. The boss is equally immature, if not worse. Okay, here are the excuses he gave. He was on the clock, but the coworker who actually tampered with the food was off the clock. What the fuck? The coworker who followed through has a mental disability and took the joke too seriously. The head boss talks like that all the time, so he did not see the harm in doing the same. The coworker whose food was tampered with is an alleged drug user, so he feels no empathy towards them. And other coworkers were also suggesting ways to tamper with the food. None of that changes the fact that this happened at work. None of it changes the fact that he is the sole provider for our family and our children. None of it excuses risking our financial security over middle school level behavior. Well said. Since starting this job, this level of immaturity has come out of nowhere. What concerns me the most is that he does not fear consequences because he believes the coworker will never find out. He does not believe there will be legal or professional repercussions. He does not know that when I am financially able to, I plan to inform the employee about what happened. Oh, that's really nice. I have sacrificed everything to be a stay-at-home mother. I do not have my own income. I do not have a village. So for him to claim the weight of being the sole provider while actively putting our lives at risk feels like a slap in the face. My focus is my children. I said what I needed to say. What he chooses to do from here will determine his own future. I made it clear that this behavior is divorce-worthy. I cannot leave immediately because I will not make my children homeless. But I am done tolerating this. I will find a way to create income and stability for myself one way or another. I am done. Well, this, obviously, it's absolutely horrible what the husband did. It's honestly mad. However, to think about divorce is crazy. So I think there must have been a lot of other things that happened. But anyways, what he did was absolutely disgusting. And I just think maybe he wasn't actually like that. Maybe he just took a lot of the flaws that the other employees had. Maybe they just created like a little group at work, and then they all just kind of took a lot of the bad things from each other, which is just awful, to be honest. And it is just feels like harassing for everyone else, you know. And for their age to do this, and when you have children as well to do this, it just makes no sense to me. I'm back at my house now. Let me know what you guys think. It's looking quite cozy. I just want to try and get these little finishing touches done. Okay, one more Reddit story about workplaces. One more. It says, am I wrong for blowing up at a coworker when he judged me? I'm a relatively new employee at my job, about 4 months now. And since I work in the accounting department and it's tax time, my team is working some weekends to get the corporation's tax documents together. It's been pretty laid back on weekends, and we have some downtime while waiting for other offices in other countries to send info to us. Yesterday, my team was waiting for our counterparts in other countries to send some documents, and so a few of us were chatting. There's one member of the team, I'll call him Jesse, who mostly works from home, so I've only interacted with him in person about 3 times before yesterday, so I barely know him at all. Sometime in the group conversation, I mentioned my girlfriend, Morgan, and I tried a new type of restaurant that just opened and how we both really like the food. So I was going to try and find some recipes from that country, and I'd have her to my apartment to try the dish I make. Jesse asked how long we've been going out, and I said almost 3 years. He looked confused and asked why we don't live together if we've been dating for that long. I answered that due to our religious beliefs, we won't live together until we're married. For background, my girlfriend and I both grew up in religious families, and we both still believe in what we were taught growing up. We both believe in waiting until marriage for sexual activity of any kind, as well as living together. If other people want to live differently, that's great for them. I don't think they're wrong for making their own decisions. Everyone lives their own life, and as long as their choices don't harm others, I couldn't care less. Live and let live. Absolutely fair enough. But when I said we don't believe in living together before marriage, he got this sour look on his face and said he lives with his girlfriend and asked if I'd judge him for that. What the fuck? I said he's free to do whatever he wants. I don't judge others for doing things that differ from what I do. Then he started on a rant about how I'm clearly controlling my girlfriend by not allowing her to express her sexual self, and how I'm making all the rules in the relationship because I think I'm better than my girlfriend, and what I say is law because that's just how people like me are with women. What the fuck? The others in the group looked confused and told him to relax because he doesn't know me or my girlfriend, much less our relationship dynamic. Our supervisor came out of his office and asked what was going on, which made Jesse rant again about me being abusive. I chose to go back to my cubicle because I just wanted to disengage that point. Throughout the next few hours, he walked by my cubicle making passive-aggressive comments about me, which I ignored. At the end of that day, I went outside to wait for Morgan because she was picking me up for a date and had borrowed my car for the day. Jesse came out, shot me a nasty look, and walked towards his car. What's his problem? Morgan pulled into the parking lot and got out of the driver's seat so I could drive. I guess they set Jesse off because he walked back over to where we were and loudly berated me for not allowing Morgan to drive, even though she was literally just driving, and then asked Morgan if she was okay. Morgan was confused and said she was more than fine. Jesse launched back into his rant about me being abusive and controlling because I won't allow Morgan to have sex at all. And she deserves a better man more like him since he lets his girlfriend express herself sexually. Bro, what the fuck? This confused Morgan even more, and she gave me a look to let me know she wanted to get out of there. So I opened the passenger door for her to get in and started to walk to the driver's seat. Jesse grabbed Morgan's arm way too hard, which was not okay with me. I immediately turned around and yanked his hand off Morgan's arm, then told him to keep his hand off her. This is literally harassment. What the fuck? I made sure she got in the car and locked the door. Then I told him how I felt about him. I said that's the way he treats his girlfriend. I feel bad for her, and I hope she rethinks their entire relationship because he's the abusive one. He's a pathetic human if he thinks other people having a different ways of living is someone on attack of him and his manhood. Then I said if he ever speaks to Morgan in that way again, I'll file a complaint with HR for harassment. After that, I got in the car and drove away. Fast forward to the day, I woke up to an email from HR telling me I have a mandatory meeting with my supervisor, Jesse, and an HR staff member tomorrow morning. I called my supervisor and he told me Jesse filed a complaint on me for blowing up at him for no reason yesterday. He's obviously aware of how Jesse was being yesterday, so he's going to back me up. He also said he's asking for the security video from the parking lot to be given to HR because he doesn't think I was the aggressor, but the recording will show everything. I doubt I'm going to be fired or anything, so I'm not worried there. But was I wrong to blow up at him for his comment and behavior? Should I have just stayed quiet? This is my first real job out of college, so I'm questioning if I broke some unspoken rule about working in a corporate setting. He's just a fucking asshole, that guy, Jesse. Okay, there's an update. A rundown of what happened in the HR meeting. I got to work and was told that Jesse was meeting with HR then, so my supervisor and I would be called down in a while. After about 30 minutes, I went to the HR office alongside my supervisor. I went in first, and the two representatives asked for my side of what happened, which I provided, and also told them everything inside the office was witnessed by other coworkers. I gave a summary of what happened in the parking lot and emphasized that Jessie grabbed my girlfriend in a violent way and that she was filing a report for the police at that very moment. Good. They asked what, in my opinion, brought on this behavior towards me, and I told them he seems to disagree with my religious beliefs and doesn't like the way I choose to practice them. They asked for more detail about what specific practices, and I told them we choose to not live together or have sex until marriage, and that's it. They could ask any of the members of my team, and all would say I've never spoken about religion prior to Saturday. I keep my beliefs to myself unless asked. I offered to have Morgan write a statement or come in and give one regarding what happened over the weekend. But I also reiterated that she was filing a police report and would be giving Jessie's name as the person who assaulted her. I was told to wait in a meeting room while they spoke to my supervisor and also called down other team members who were there on Saturday. One of them came back in about 45 minutes later and told me I could take the day off with pay if I chose to, but I wasn't required to because they found no wrongdoing on my part after speaking to witnesses and watching the footage. Since I worked Saturday, I took the day off. When I came back on Tuesday, I found out one went down after I left on Monday. Apparently, Jesse was told he was being suspended pending further investigation and would be contacted when and if he was allowed back. He got angry but left, at which time they had his building access turned off so he couldn't come back inside until a final decision is made. My supervisor was almost certain Jesse was going to be terminated because a few officers showed up on Monday, asking for brief statements from coworkers and to get a copy of the security footage. The general consensus was that he'd probably be charged with assault and the company wants no connection to him. Well, yeah, fair enough. So as of today, Wednesday, he is no longer with the company. Thank fuck. That guy is a bomb. Like, he's definitely going to explode on anyone. No word yet on whether he's been arrested or charged with assault. Morgan will be informed of the next steps if charges are filed, though. I'll be mostly working from home for a while so that Jesse can come looking for me. HR and my supervisors thought it's best for right now. So that's where things are right now. Nothing too dramatic. I mean, I'd say it's quite dramatic. No huge brawls or anything like that, which is great. I don't enjoy drama at all. No, does Morgan. And on an unrelated note, I'm 75% of the way to buying the ring I have picked out for Morgan. So if it all goes well, I'll propose this summer. That is so sweet. I just wish nothing but the best for them both, yeah. I just feel like that's such an unnecessary situation to go through, and it must have been quite stressful, and like it's just not a nice situation, you know, to live. That guy is absolutely demented, and I'm so glad he got fired, and I just hope he never finds a job again, because acting like that just because some people have different beliefs is mad. It's mad. This is a big world. There will be a lot of people that don't agree with you, and you cannot act like this. What the fuck? Okay, it's the end of the video now, and thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you like this one, you'll probably like the other one I did that's about dating stories from Reddit. Thank you. Bye.